Hello, everybody. I'm having a look here to see if any of you guys are popping on. So following up for last night, we had a really interesting discussion about sports stars and the likely placements they will have in their chart. Now, if you're watching last night, you'll know at the end I was saying, well, wouldn't it be kind of cool to have a look and see what sort of things crop up in the astrology of pop stars, right? Or singing stars, the singing sensations. And this was my checkbox of what I was expecting to find, right? I'm expecting to find the Sun, Venus, or Mercury frequently placed in Taurus. I'm expecting Venus, or possibly an ascendant, or Mercury in Pisces. I'm definitely thinking Leo rising, because that's the showman, the love of the attention, the glamour, the spotlight on you. So I'm expecting some Leo risings. A little bit of Cancer, because that's also got an association with music. I mean, Taurus is the big one for music, because when Pluto was in Taurus was when the three major piano manufacturers were formed. And it's just been this long association. I mean, Ireland is a Taurus country, and of course everyone thinks of Ireland, they think of music, of one of the things they think of, and friendliness, obviously, as well. And so we've got our Taurus placements, some Pisces placements, maybe Venus, Mercury, and Ascendant, Taurus, the Sun, the Venus, and the Mercury. I also am expecting Moon in Sagittarius, because these performers move around a lot. They've got to like travel. They can't be too rooted to one spot, because a prerequisite to be a pop star is, you know, you're living out a suitcase, you're touring, you know, you've got to be really happy to be in and out of hotels and have that kind of international flavor to you. So we're also expecting to see a little bit of Sagittarius, probably Moon, and that Leo rising. So let's see, a little bit of Cancer thrown in, because it's also a musical sign. So let's just have a look and see. Now, if you're watching there, you can comment and maybe recommend someone else. But these are the kind of people I've earmarked. And to have a little bit of interaction, guys, hi there. Hi, Marion. Hello, Andy. Hi, great to see you. So I'm going to give you a little clue before we look at each person and see if you can guess who it is, right? Okay. So coming up, the first one, I am a rocket ship heading off to Mars on a collision course. I am a satellite. I'm out of control. Now, a clue. You've got to get that one. Super easy. Here, your clue's right here. It's Freddie Mercury, right? Now, Freddie Mercury, his chart doesn't have a time when I looked it up, because no one's really certain what his time is. But come on, I mean, if he isn't Leo rising, who is? He is the essence of Leo rising. Flamboyant, dramatic, theatrical. And if you don't think he's Leo rising, you must be stone cold crazy, right? Okay. So we don't know precisely his rising. He is a Virgo. But the interesting thing is we did get the Moon in Sagittarius. And that does give a wild flavor. We know that he was quite a party animal. He had a really wild side, very private side, the Virgo side. That was the kind of shy, reflective side. But there was also the Sagittarius side, which was into the extremes. And what he did have, however, was Venus conjunct Jupiter in Libra. So I think that was bringing through all this massive creativity, also a huge appetite for life and for partying. Moon in Sagittarius is kind of interesting, because he was born in Zanzibar, which is off the coast of East Africa. When he was really young, his parents put him on the ship, sent him off to India to school. So he had that international flavor from early on in life. And then, of course, he came over to live in the UK, the Twickenham area, Hounslow, when he was late teens. So there was that international flavor to him coming through. Also quite happy to do all the touring, although I did see an interview where he said, like, touring really did get him down. And he said after you done a tour of America, you never wanted to go on stage again. You could kind of understand it. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. I write the songs that make the whole world sing. Okay, who's this? This is Barry Manilow, obviously. And I've gone for a mix of people who have been around forever and have had a really big success, with some of the newbies on the scene as well. So we're going through some of the old fogey sort of boomers at the moment. Now, Barry Manilow was ticking numerous boxes, right? We've got the Leo rising, of course. We've got Venus in Leo, so it's another strong Leo placement. Venus being in the first house as well, okay. Moon in Sagittarius, bingo. How did I know, right? Another one with that. He also had his North Node in Leo, but he's got then a stellium in Gemini. So he's missing out those sort of Pisces, Taurus placements there. We didn't get that. Okay, Next one we've got your blood like winter's breeze is just like ice, and there's a cold and lonely light that shines from you. Okay, who got there? I gave you a clue with boots, and that's Elton John. And he's ticking a lot of our boxes. He hasn't got the Sagittarius Moon, but he's got Sag Ascendant, right? He's also got Mercury and Mars in Pisces. So here we go, that Pisces theme coming through with the singers. And he's got Moon in Taurus, which gives him his musical ability that's kind of innate and maybe even inherited from one of the parents, right? Okay, next one we've got is River Deep, Mountain High, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that is Tina Turner. Now, she is a Sagittarius, right? And she's got ascendant in Leo. I think that kind of apt. I mean, Tina Turner is another one of those really big on the performance, isn't it? People, that's where she really made her name. The performance, the look, blah, blah, blah. And she's got a stellium, Sun, Mercury, and Venus all in Sag. So not seeing a lot of these Cancer placements coming through right now, but there you go. Next, we have, let's see, gypsies, tramps, and thieves. We hear it from the people in the town they call us. And that is, of course, Cher, who's a Taurus, so bingo there. What's more, Cher ticks the box because she's got Cancer rising. So we've got that coming through for Cher, and Mars in Leo. So that's bringing out the kind of performance-based side. Not only did she have Sun in Taurus, she's also got a Mercury in Taurus. Right, let's get bang up to date now. Put your lighters in the air, everybody say yeah. It's Alicia Keys. Her ascendant is Pisces. What's more, she's got Neptune on the midheaven in Sagittarius. So that's bringing together the Pisces theme, the Neptune with the music, and that Sagittarius theme. And then a little bit similar to Freddie Mercury, she's got the Libra thing going on with Moon conjunct Jupiter and Saturn in Libra. Now the next one. This is an interesting one for me because for years in my life, people used to say I looked like this person and I never really saw it myself. So, and here's your clue. And I know my heart will go on from Titanic. I'm not going to risk singing any more of those songs. They're super difficult. And Celine Dion, of course, the last of 13 children. And so she is Aries, okay, she has the Leo rising, bingo there. She's also got, which is a bingo, her Venus and Mercury conjunct in Pisces, very strong musicality. And as a child, I believe that despite the whole family being pretty multi-talented with music, she was the one who stood out. Of course, her sun is on the MC, which indicates her enormous fame. Now, apparently she is distantly related to both Mariah Carey and Madonna. And she's also ticking the box with Taurus because she's got both Mars and her Moon in Taurus. So you can see why Celine, multiple signs there of the phenomenal success she's had and how like super talented she is. She's got it all foretold in the chart now. Okay, let's look at our next one. Slightly different. Okay, let's go really low here. Nessun Dorma. Yeah, this is Pavarotti. Thought we'd have a look. He's the oldest guy that we've got here. He's even pre-boomer, being born 1935. But he has ascendant in Leo, obviously, the performer there. He's midheaven in Taurus, so he's gravitating to a career involving the arts, music, entertainment. And again, Sagittarius, Mars in Sagittarius. So again, giving him that ability to kind of float around the world quite happily. Let us look at the next in a similar theme. No more talk of darkness, forget these wide-eyed fears, I'm here. That is Sarah Brightman, very famous for all the kind of Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff, and she is definitely ticking boxes because not only is her ascendant Leo, but the sun is on her ascendant in Leo, so she is super good at performing. Also got the stamina. I mean, as a sort of more opera-ish singer, you have to have an enormous amount of physicality, stamina, fitness to keep up with that. It's quite demanding on you. Additionally, Sarah Brightman's got the Moon in Taurus. So there you go. Probably inherited her talent as well in the arts. Probably was drawn to music and had that instinct for music early on in life. And she's got Jupiter in Sagittarius. So again, the love of travel and just an ability to you know, do you have to be able to party animal to be in this, because it's so demanding. There's such a social side to it as well, and it's really hard to switch off. So you have to be a person who just can turn it on and enjoys that and doesn't become too stressed or too burnt out from the whole thing. Now we're back sort of boomer era, right? So we've got someone else coming up. Let's see. It was a cold and wet December day. We touched the ground at JFK. The snow was laying on the ground. On the DNS, I heard the sound of an angel. Obviously, it's U2. It's Bono. Popular with some. He has quite an interesting little thing going on here, because he's got Moon conjunct Mercury in Scorpio all on his midheaven. And Bono's ticking a lot of boxes, actually, because he's got Sun, Venus, and Mercury all in Taurus. So what with the Moon conjunct Neptune, that's kind of a Piscean theme coming. And, of course, the strong Taurian themes with the music, again, phenomenally successful. Okay, let's look at this next guy. Okay, a little clue coming up. La, 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 la. Hey, Jude. So this is John Lennon, who's a Libran, and he has his Jupiter and Saturn exactly conjunct in Taurus. And I thought that was interesting, because that's a kind of generational thing, right? And he was in there right at the beginning of pop. I know there was Elvis before that, but of course the Beatles were phenomenal. It kicked off the whole 60s thing. So it seemed like that was going to be the generation of pop, and he was right in there. So it makes sense that he should have that really important generational conjunction in Taurus going on. Okay, our next clue is, actually I can't really, oh yeah, here we go. It was, I dreamed a dream. I can't even think of the words now. That life would be nothing like I'm living. Sorry, I forget the words to that one. That's obviously Susan Boyle, came to music late in life. She's ticking a box here with Mars in Cancer. Now, we don't know her rising, but it seems likely she was Leo rising, because she was always performing, even before the days when she became famous. And she's got the Pisces theme going on, because she's got Mercury in Pisces. So we've got another hit there. Now, the next one that comes up is a little bit different, but we're still getting those themes we expected coming through. Let me give you a little clue. Of course, all you guys who were growing up in the 80s, you're definitely going to know all about this one. And she's still on the scene as well, so she's also got this longevity. We're going for people who've really stuck around for a long time, because we'll get the strongest placements out of them. Do the locomotion with me. You gotta swing your hips now. Come on, baby. Well, of course, it's Kylie, right? And she's still knocking around. Kylie has got a whole stellium in Gemini, so she's super Gemini, but Cancer rising. Okay, so there you go, the Cancer little tinge, and her midheaven in Taurus was the same thing we heard from Pavarotti. That's why she was in Neighbours, wasn't she? So her whole life was geared towards something rather artistic, and you know, her initial image was like the girl next door kind of thing, hence the Cancer rising. Our next artist we've got coming up, Like a Virgin, for the very first time. Obviously, it's Madonna, and she's Leo, got a lot of placements in Leo, but additionally, Madonna has got her Mars in Taurus, and Venus conjunct Uranus in Leo. That's why she was also a trendsetter, but like John Lennon, you know, she came out of there, and she, I think, opened the door for a whole lot of women performers, changed the paradigm. And also what we have there with Venus conjunct Uranus is the way she's continually reinvented herself for every generation. So she remains relevant, which is one of the big kind of hallmarks of her success. And her sound has changed. She adapted, obviously came out of the 80s, Desperately Seeking Susan, she was in that film, and then there was a 90s sound, then there was a 2000s sound, so that shows powerful needs there to invent herself. Now, I cannot think of any songs with this person, not one of my favorites, but you'll all know her, Lady Gaga, and she has got a lot going on in Pisces. In fact, she's got Mercury conjunct Jupiter in Pisces, very strong. Don't you find the whole Piscean thing with the disguises, the fact that she's like a chameleon, you don't really know who she is. It's like she's taking on this whole persona, and it's quite it's quite fluid, right? She could be anyone, she could be anything. She's just moving into these different roles. Plus, she's ticking the boxes of the old Sagittarius here, because she's got Mars conjunct Uranus, Sagittarius. Now, a slightly more recent one as well is Adele, what's interesting about Adele is ascendant in Cancer, so the same there as Kylie. Sun conjunct Jupiter in Taurus. Yeah, that's why she's made a lot of money through this as well. So not only has she got the musicality of the Taurus, she's got the money-making ability coming through of the Taurus as well. And once again, we're back to Moon in Sag. So again, this love of travel, of different experiences, and ability to embrace a whole variety of different themes and genres through her music and appeal to loads of different audiences. Okay, this next one, we know our friend, well, not our friend, but here in the UK, you know, our wonderful Prime Minister, fan of this band, or his kids are anyway, and he likes some of this band, this woman, and gets tickets, goes to the concerts, as do most of our MPs. Not sure if they like her that much or if they just like to get out of it and get a few freebies. And there's Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift has got Moon conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, so she's ticking that. But a little bit more interesting, Neptune rising, which obviously very musical, but also something different. So is she a little bit more manufactured, right? No, not reflecting some of the other artists we looked at who had a true talent coming through, that she's more of a fabrication, a collaboration. There's a big group behind her generating the image, the looks, the dance, blah, blah, blah. Someone who we definitely should mention, another Virgo, is Amy Winehouse. A lot of Leo going on, though, because she's got Venus conjunct Mars in Leo. And obviously, you can imagine with Amy, she would have had lots of Sag, so Moon conjunct Neptune and Sagittarius. But there's a kind of tragic feel to that as well. Someone who had a lot of issues, addiction problems. And we saw as well, when we looked at the sports charts with Ayrton Senna, cut down in the prime of his life, he had Neptune prominent in his chart as well. And there you see the same thing with Amy. So an enormous talent, but also reflecting the troubled pop star genre, whereas you see a lot of these others that I've gone through have been fairly resilient. They've kind of kept going and haven't fallen foul of the whole of the more Neptunian side of the pop industry, which is where it all kind of goes massively off the rails. Okay, the last one, and yeah, I got a song for you. I'm Not That Innocent. This is called Britney Spears. And as you can imagine, loads of Sag coming through here. A bit of a wild child, obviously a child prodigy, because she started in Disney, didn't she, dancing, and she came out of the whole Disney Kids thing. And she's got Sun, Mercury, Uranus, and Jupiter, all in Sagittarius, but they're not that conjunct. I think that kind of reflects the fact that she's never really been able to find an anchor. She's sort of been drifting here and there. So I hope you enjoyed all those. Hi, guys. Thank you. Hi, Vanessa. Hello. And yeah, I thought that was quite fun to look at. And I think we nailed all the predictions that I anticipated in finding with these various artists. Just a little concoction there, just brainstormed a few different ones, but I definitely went for artists who I felt had a major impact on the industry that most people would know, that have been around for yonks and have generated a lot of the work through their own efforts. Okay, guys, have a good rest of your evening. Hope to see you soon, and maybe sometime we'll have a look at some other genre. I don't think I'll do another one of this particular genre. We've done the pop stars, we've done the sports stars. Maybe sometime we'll do something else like this. But in the meantime, thanks for joining me, and ciao. I hope you'll see you all soon.